Okay. Welcome to the Legislative Committee meeting for Phelan Piñon Community Service District. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Greg, would you like to take over from here?
Yes, I can.
Okay, awesome. We figured that would be the easiest intro.
Yes. Yeah, so today's the Legislative Committee starting at 3 p.m. We did the Pledge of Allegiance, and so roll call. I'm here, and Deborah, you're here. So it shows that all directors for the committee meeting are present. One, the approval of the agenda.
Are there any changes?
No changes.
It looks good to me. I'll approve it.
All right, I'll second. All right, then item number 2 is public comment. Do I read out the statement, or is this an opportunity for the public to comment, whether you're in the at the committee meeting itself or online?
There are no members of the public in person or online.
All right. And with that, we have no public comments. And so item number 3 is acceptance of the minutes. You have a motion to accept the minutes.
They look good to me. I'll move.
I'll second those. All right. And item number 4, I guess this will be Mississippi for our updates from our representatives.
Yes, it looks like we have Mr. Bartz here from Assemblyman Obernolte's office. If you have an update, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can everybody hear me just fine?
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, so I have a short update for everybody. First off, I want to say thank you guys so much for hosting our office during our mobile community, or our community coffee night. We apologize that Congressman couldn't be there in person, but felt like it went really well with how many people were able to stay there and ask questions. So we just want to say thank you guys for such an amazing opportunity. The first thing that I want to talk about, which kind of goes hand in hand, is the Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2023. Congressman Obernolte did vote yes on this act. The reason why Congressman Obernolte has supported this act is because it enacts the largest reduction in non-defense discretionary spending in the history of our country. And it accomplishes this without raising taxes, which is why Congressman Obernolte really supported this. However, Congressman Obernolte did say that this bill falls short of significant adjustments to overall federal spending that's needed to restore fiscal responsibility to our government and put us on a path toward a balanced budget. The passage of the FRA Act must be the first of many steps toward fiscal responsibility and a balanced budget. And towards the end, Representative Obernolte has introduced and pushed for the adoption of his binding Federal Savings Committee resolution and his Obernolte Balanced Budget Amendment. So what these bills would do is help put our nation's economy back on track by going after discretionary spending. The next thing that I want to talk about is Congressman Obernolte has introduced a bipartisan bill. This bill is called H.R. 3723, the Medical Device Electronic Labeling Act. And this amends the Food and Drug Cosmetics Act to authorize electronic labeling for medical device features. This will enable real-time and rapid updates of information concerning medical devices to be delivered into the hands of those who need them without the need to wait for the physical copies of the updated user manuals. So what this means is that the medical care facilities will be able to have up-to-date information on all of their machines that they need in order to take care of our community, which is especially important when it comes to our more rural communities who need that care immediately. So Congressman Obernolte is happy to have introduced this bipartisan bill. The last thing I would like to say, if anybody needs any assistance or if anybody knows of anybody who needs assistance with the federal government, whether it be the IRS, Social Security, Medicare, VA, have them call our office. We are happy to assist you. We have dedicated caseworkers, and we all have a passion for the community. So thank you guys so much for having us.
And what is that number by any chance?
That number is 760-247-1815.
Thank you.
Thank
That's
you
the other
guys.
question I have.
Any other questions? Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for having us.
Thank you.
Okay, looks like Greg froze for a second. Wait for him to pop back on.
It's trying to connect.
It's trying. Your signal's pretty low, so we can't, maybe turn off your video and then just do audio.
So that'll be okay still, I think.
All right, how'd that work?
That's much better.
That's good. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I didn't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, I don't see anybody from the state senate here, but we do have a representative from Assemblyman Holden's office, Matthew Lyons.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us, our office today. I just have a few brief announcements. First, I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to introduce ourselves. The Assembly member has been in the Assembly for a little while, since 2012, but in the new redistricting, he picked up an extended district. We go further west and further east. And we've picked up this community service district. First, I want to thank Kim and the district management for their patience and persistence in connecting with our office and the Assembly member up in Sacramento. He enjoyed the conversations recently, and it was really nice to hear from you directly and the concerns and issues that your district is confronting. So again, wanted to thank you for that. We're in the budget season, and so this week the legislature is voting on the budget. Both the Senate and the Assembly have jointly presented their budget plan, and they'll likely be voting on that no later than the 15th of this week, and then they'll work with the governor throughout the month, but prior to July 1st to hammer out those details. And since we are relatively new to the area, I am going to share my contact information in the chat, but please don't hesitate to give us a call out of our Claremont office. That number is 909-624-7876. And my direct email is matthew.lyons@asm.ca.gov. I'm also going to share my cell phone number since I'm typically out of the office more than I'm in the office. And that number is 909-631-6205. And we thank you for the opportunity to be of service. You take care.
All right. Thank you.
And it looks like our last representative here is Samuel Shoup with Supervisor Cook's office.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. Just a little update for everybody today. I think I'd mentioned at the last CSD meeting, for which I provided an update, that the board recently approved a contract for environmental and engineering studies for the initial phase of the Phelan Road widening project. So we're going to be having that moving forward. Excited to anytime we get some infrastructure road improvements getting going. So we're looking forward to that. Additionally, today, just a few hours ago at the board meeting, the board approved or held a public hearing for and approved our budget for the new fiscal year. This is a $8.7 billion budget, which is difficult for me to wrap my brain around. It's focusing, as you can imagine, on a whole bunch of different things. We included in there a priorities list for this upcoming fiscal year, including economic development, regional parks, focus on disaster relief, emphasis on public safety, of course. Additionally, there's a decent amount of money in there, about 30 million that's going to be appropriated for unincorporated communities' infrastructure needs. So throughout the coming fiscal year, it'll be focused on supporting our unincorporated areas, making sure we have the sufficient roadways and things of that nature for a safe and productive environment in areas that don't always get the funding that cities do. Additionally, we're going to be moving about 20 million from the general fund to support more vulnerable populations. Our homeless initiatives throughout the county are going to get that money for the next year, so we can hopefully reduce that population, provide the services that are most needed for them. But beyond that, that's mostly what I have. Not to be outdone by the two other reps here, I'll be dropping my contact info in the chat. And of course, if there's anyone who has any county-related issues, if we're bugging any residents too much, feel free to send them our way, and we'll try to help smooth things out as much as possible. And if anyone has any questions, of course, I'll be happy to answer.
Looks like we don't have any additional questions. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much, everyone.
All right. So that wraps up the updates from our representatives. Item number 5 is review of the May-June CSDA legislative brief. I would assume that's you, Kim?
Yes, so June 2nd passed. That was the House of Origin deadline for all legislation for this session. By June 15th, the budget bill needs to be passed by midnight. July 14th, our legislators go into summer recess and they reconvene August 14th. And they have until September 14th to get some of these bills passed. So a couple things. I'm just going to go over some highlights of this legislative brief because it had a lot of information in it. Special District Week, that was Senate bill, actually it was a Senate concurrent resolution. That was chaptered on June 6th. So we officially have a Special Districts Week that goes from May 14th through 20th. On June 7th, Assembly Bill 557 Hart. This is related to some amendments to essentially what was AB 361, which was how we were teleconferencing for several years there with COVID. That one passed, but it was referred to the Judiciary Committee. Assembly Bill 400 on May 31st was referred to committee, but then the author did request for the hearing to be canceled. Senate Bill 706, this is progressive design bill, so kind of similar to AB 400. It's in the committee process still. Assembly Bill 1594, this is related to the medium and heavy-duty zero-emission vehicles for public agency utilities, of which, we're one of those. It did pass the Senate, and it was forwarded on to the Rules Committee on June 1st. Basically, there is an executive order issued that by 2045, all medium and heavy-duty vehicles would need to be zero-emission vehicles, and obviously, there's some challenges for public utilities to implement that based off of a variety of reasons, especially because this is medium and heavy duty vehicles, and those things would weigh more than our roads could support at this time.
Oh, boy.
Also, if we have to do that, we might not be able to operate. And so this does give some consideration into that. So we'll see what happens there. And then, kind of outside of this brief, but still part of it, I think Dawn had an update on this one, AB 1637 regarding the website.
Yeah, AB 1637 looks like we're not going to be required to have the .gov website or emails, which the special districts got involved with that, and they had quite a few people comment. Some of them were up to, which claim over $1 million to comply with that, with all of the email addresses, the business cards, the paperwork, and everything else. And so it appears that we are not going to be required to do that. It could come back again, but at this point, it is dead for this year.
Yeah, and our agency has been in the process of converting to a .gov for a while. We do want some of the protections that having a .gov would give us security-wise for our website, but it's icky how it works right now. So we would become, because the feds don't want us to just have pphcsd.gov, they want us to be pphcsdca.gov, not even .ca.gov. And if we did .ca.gov, it would be pphcsdca.ca.gov. And I can't even imagine saying that many times a day, so.
If I remember right, they were also going to require you to spell out the entire name.
That was also one of the provisions.
Yeah,
And so
it
if we
was
had
like, how long of a name,
do
web
Phelan
address?
Piñon Hills, I mean, I would be recommending we change our name at that point.
Can we change it to a 3-letter word?
Yeah, we already spend a lot of time phonetically spelling out our name, so that would have been really bad if we
Yeah.
had to get that implemented right now. Plus, like Mr. Bartz was saying, so expensive to update everything that has our web address in. So, yay! Thank you, CSDA Ledge Committee, which Dawn is on, for helping with that. And then the other thing I have is on May 23rd, the Little Hoover Commission did meet. They did recommend pausing SB 1383, but as we know, the Little Hoover Commission, a lot of what they recommend never happens. And Cal Recycle is adamantly opposed to this, and a lot of haulers and businesses that work with SB 1383 related requirements, they're kind of opposed to it at this point because we're all right in the midst of implementing this, and we've already spent so much money doing it, and it's going to take a while, but this would wait until the next legislative session anyway. So
We're already 75% down the path. I
yeah,
think.
right, and we didn't qualify for any of the exemptions so far, and I don't think it would pass anyway, even if it went through the legislature to do a pause. So, and then I did see, a couple very narrow exemptions for SB 1383 come through in trailer bills this year, and other type of bills. It's like they have 15,000 residents and their population is this, and they're, whatever. It's very narrow. You know that it's tailored for one specific jurisdiction, which we wanted to get, but we couldn't get a spot bill this year, so it's okay. And that's kind of all I have on this. Did you guys have any questions on anything related to the brief?
Yeah. Deborah?
Nope.
No, I don't have any questions. Kim, thank you.
It's nice when you provide them already.
Yes.
All right. So being if there's no comments or questions regarding that, we'll move on to the next, which is review of action items. Anything from the prior meeting?
Yeah, I did provide a white paper regarding, hold on, let me get to my thing. That ballot initiative 21-0042A1. I've met with CSDA legislative staff. I've met with Howard Jarvis. I do not understand why CSDA is taking a position on this at all, because special districts can't levy general taxes. So I don't know why we would be either supporting or not supporting this ballot initiative as a district. But if you guys had other thoughts on this regarding the white paper, and if you would like to bring forth a letter of support or opposition to the board, we absolutely can.
Deborah, do you have any comments?
No, it does seem odd that they want to clump us into it.
Yeah, I mean, cities definitely have a vested interest in opposing this. But because we can't levy general taxes, I don't know why we would do that.
I'm in agreement with that. I don't see why we're not, but I don't see why we shouldn't just bring it to the full board so they have an opportunity to comment on that.
Yeah,
I
we can do
agree.
it as an information item, I guess.
I like that
Yes.
idea. Yeah, just so that
Yes.
where they're informed in the loop.
Perfect. I will add it to the second meeting in June.
All right. And section B, current meeting.
Just that we'll be taking that ballot initiative to a future board meeting.
All right. All right, so that concludes number 8. Number 9, set the agenda for the next meeting for September the 12th, 2023.
There are no recommended changes from staff, other than, of course, the period for the legislative brief will be updated.
Yep, I don't have anything else. Deborah?
I agree that we don't have anything to add.
Okay. And then finally, item number 10, adjournment. So I guess this meeting would adjourn at 3:21 p.m. on June 13th.
Thank you.
Thank you.